Mario vs. Sonic is a debate that's been going on for basically since the characters were first created. And for the longest time, people have never came up with their minds on who they thought wins, Mario or Sonic. But what if I told you this fight really isn't close at all? For Sonic, at least. Mario absolutely obliterates him. And here is why.
First things first, let's be very generous and start with Sonic scaling until we go into Mario's. Because Sonic's is going to be a lot more simpler to explain. Now, just to show you how unfair this fight really is for Sonic, I'm going to be giving Sonic everything. The games, the Archie comics, even ICW, stuff like that, the movies. While for Mario, I'm just going to use the games. Because realistically speaking here, game Mario is enough for comp Sonic. Not even kidding. So let's just begin and get Sonic scaling out of the way. Let's start off with the most basic thing with Sonic. Sonic does scale to robots and a bunch of other characters empowered by Chaos Emeralds, which, as we know, Chaos Emeralds are one of the more stronger objects in Sonic. Not the most strongest, but pretty up there. With the Chaos Emeralds being able to empower Solaris, who in the game is stated to be a super-dimensional being. Now, one thing I do want to note here, just because a character is stated to be super-dimensional, doesn't really mean much since dimensional can just refer to universes. So, at bare minimum, this would make the Chaos Emeralds 4D. And even if we take in the super dimensional stuff for Solaris, it wouldn't even matter because it's stated here in a guidebook for Sonic 06 that not even Super Sonic could beat Solaris. So, Sonic wouldn't even scale to Solaris. So, even if super dimensional did equal to, multiverses and stuff, yeah, Sonic wouldn't be scaling to Solaris. Now we're getting to the Archie comics, and oh boy, this gets complicated. Mostly due to how inconsistent this version of Sonic really is. So, yeah, I'm gonna try my best with this part and use the most consistent thing with him. Anyways, the max you can get this version of Sonic is with something known as the off panel, which pretty much is explained here is the strongest level of reality within the comics. And at max, this should get Archie Sonic to at least 8D, but nothing higher than that. In which case, we're pretty much done with the Sonic side of things. Because there's not really any version of Sonic that gets higher than this. Movies, at max, you can argue that to multi-solar because of the Super Shadow Eclipse Cannon thing. And Boom and the others, I mean, what are they gonna do? Now we're getting into the Mario side of things, and oh boy, I suggest you buckle in for this one because things are about to get complicated. But before we do that, I should preference this. These arcs from Mario aren't mine. They're by my friend Scalarverse 2.0, aka Spectral. So I highly suggest you go to his channel and subscribe. I'm using his arcs, this is the most I can do for him. And if you're watching this Spectral, appreciate you, buddy. So to basically let's start off with some basic cosmology stuff. Basically, when Mario activates his cutout technique, he transcends the boundaries of space and time, alongside dimensions and travels through realms from other universes, as you can see here. This means he is transcendental to the main universe, but that's what's in question here. Where does the main universe scale to exactly? This is where Mario scaling begins to get insane. So to basically explain it, the Earth is separate to the microcosmos. It's so separate that it falls under space-time for a very long time. But in context of the own timelines it has, science fiction also does exist in the Marioverse, as you can see here, which means they have their definition of metaphysics, meaning each timeline with the Earth is a metaphysical contract, and since the planet is the creator of said timeline, this would make them inherently pathologically and physiologically. Lastly, and something that's most definitely going to shock a lot of you, in a guide about Baby Mario's power, it is said to be indomitable, which means cannot be subdued or overcome as persons, full or courage and comfortable. And Mario's superstar form was way stronger than his base form, who can hurt Mega Baby Bowser, who can seal an attack that was stated to be ultra or hyperdimensional, one of those things. Space in form of an energy ball, incompetent by Yoshi. The definition of superspace means infinitely stacked dimensions and containing all possible space and actual spacetimes. Even the concept of spacetime, which would include Mario's power, is able to destroy all of this, making him Outerversal Plus by just simply existing alone. Christ. And with his feat of being transcendental to the universe, High Outerversal Plus, therefore, he easily would absolutely annihilate Sonic and his whole verse alone. So overall, in conclusion, after all this, Mario absolutely nags Sonic. This debate should really just end at this point.